What's up everybody, it's Paul from Boosted Films, and in this video I'm going to show you how I installed this FITCAMX direct fit dash cam into this Hyundai Elantra. I'm going to show you some sample footage at the end as well so you can see exactly what the video footage on this dash cam would look like. And then also, if you're interested in buying this particular dash cam, I'm going to put a link in the video description down below. So if you're unfamiliar with what a direct fit dash cam is, if we look here behind this rear view mirror, you can see that plastic piece. You basically just swap out that plastic piece for this new one, and this new one has a dash cam built right into it. So this video is going to give you details on how to install it. But of course, first let's take a look at what's inside the box when you order one of these. So there is going to be a user's manual that also has a QR code you can scan to look at a different install video if you don't like mine. It comes with this jumper wire, as I'd like to call it. This is really nice. This is what makes install go very smooth. You don't have to wire up anything. It's all plug and play. And of course, this is the dash cam itself. As you can see, it's a molded piece. It'll look just like OEM. Most people won't even know you have a dash cam in your car. It looks really clean once you have it installed. So let's go ahead and install it. First thing we're going to do is open up our passenger side door. You could use driver's side too, whatever is easiest for you. Here's a shot of what that original kind of cover looks like. So again, we're going to remove that OEM cover. And for some tips on kind of how that old one's going to get removed, I like to look at the new one, and you can see where these pieces here that it pushes into are. So if you look at this new piece, it can kind of give you some hints as to how you would remove the old one. You can see you'll have to kind of slide it down towards the front of the car once you remove it. And while we're here, we're going to remove this little tiny section here. We just kind of squeeze the sides, and then we're going to pull it up in this case a little bit. And then this little piece will come up and out of the way. We'll reinstall that later. So same thing with the OEM piece on the car here. We're going to use the tool they provided, this plastic piece. We can just pry in here and pry on both sides a little bit to get this smaller piece out of this, again, original piece. So once you get it to pop out of one side, you should be able to get your tool in the other side and get it to pop out of the other side as well. I moved my mirror out of the way here to give me a little more room just by turning it down a bit. And then that piece to just pop out for me, but otherwise if it didn't pop out all the way, you should be able to just pull it up to kind of get it to slide out of place. So this is where it is a little bit tricky, but this one's better than some of the other ones I've done in the past as far as removing this OEM piece. I'm using this tool, this pry tool that they gave us, and I'm just kind of gently going around the edges, pushing it in and then giving it a little twist. And that's kind of prying it free a little bit in different areas. But the main way to get this one free is I'm going to kind of get my fingers up towards the top, kind of by where the headliner and this plastic piece meet. I'm going to get my thumbs up in there, and then I'm going to pry down towards the front of the car, towards the bottom of the windshield. And then it kind of pops out of place. And you got to do the same thing on the other side as well, since it only came out kind of halfway for me initially. So I would say just take your time with this. Don't try to be too hard. It's going to require some force to get it free, but you shouldn't be really wrenching on it. You should just be able to slide it off. And once that covers off, you can see what it was kind of hiding. There's two connectors in here, one of which we're going to use to wire in our new dash cam. So here's what that looks like. And again, here's this jumper wire that they provide us. So we're going to utilize this. And you can see this white plug-in here that I'm going to remove. There's a little piece in the center that you need to squeeze up in this case. So when you pinch that up, you should then be able to pull out that plug-in. And then we're going to, of course, take the new wire provided in the kit. And all we're going to have to do is plug this in. You should hear it snap in when it's pushed in all the way. And then we're going to plug in the other side. And all this is kind of really doing is kind of, like I said, that's why I call it a jumper wire, because it's a wire that kind of just kind of goes in between these two other plugins, and then it adds this additional plugin to power our dash cam. So again, pretty nicely, you don't have to wire up anything yourself. You don't have to run any power wires to a battery or a fuse box. So you need to kind of do a little bit of finagling to keep these wires out of the way, but we'll get to that in just a second as well. And now I always like to compare old to new, make sure everything looks right. As you can see, this original piece looks a lot like the one we got, so that's good. So now we're going to go ahead and plug this in. They do have like a line you can see This will only go one way, so you should just look for this kind of protruding portion, and then you should be able to plug this in as well. Again, requires a little bit of force, but it shouldn't require too much. Next, I just decided to bring it down and around the mirror there. And then, of course, you need to pay attention mostly to, I would say, the top part here where it will slide up in place. And I spent a little bit of time moving those wires around again, too, just kind of getting them so they weren't in my way. But once you know those wires won't be in your way, you can kind of line this up, push it towards the windshield, of course. But then kind of in all one smooth movement, I just got it to slide up in place. It worked pretty well, but I was kind of holding it on both sides and then just kind of slid it up in place, and then it kind of popped in where it should be. And then this little cover has to go in next. And you can see where this kind of should line up on the bottom part of it. And then the top part just kind of snaps in place. So you should be able to line it up, push it down, and then snap it in. And there you have it. As I said, it looks pretty clean. It's a really nice thing to not have a whole nother thing just sticking on your windshield. And this is, you know, cheap insurance in my book, having a dash cam. So it's never a he said, she said situation if there is some sort of accident. But this is what it looked like once it was all installed. Next, you'll have to set things up with an app on your smartphone. There are directions that come with the sheet. I'm not going to go over all that in my video. It is pretty simple. There are also videos on their website. I'll link to one in the video description down below as well if you want to learn more about actually setting up the app on your phone. And just some quick notes though on the app. What's nice about it is you are able to download videos directly from there. So if you don't want to pop out that SD card, you can just download videos if you're close enough to your car. When you connect to the Wi-Fi of the camera, you can download them directly to your phone. I will say in my experience, it does take a little while to download individual clips. This is also a reason why I set my video clip length. You can change that in the settings as well. I set mine to only 3 minutes. You could set yours down to 1 minute. That way, when it loop records and it starts a new clip, it might be easier to download a smaller file if that's what you want to do. But if you have any more questions about the app, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. And then just so you can see, these do have these blue blinky lights, so you know it is working. There's a power button there as well, and you can see on the side how easy it is to access that SD card if you did need to pop that in and out, if you preferred to copy video files that way instead of using the app. So you can always use that SD card too, honestly, without using the app at all, if you didn't change any of if you didn't need to change any of the factory settings. So that's it. Everything is installed. Put your seat back and all that stuff, or change everything back to the way you had it. And hopefully that went pretty easy to install for you. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'm going to leave you with a couple different scenarios with the dashcam footage, sample footage, so you can see what this looks like and see if it's a good enough quality for what you're looking for. And there are different settings you can change in the app to increase video quality. So I'm going to label with what is the standard video quality and also what's with the higher resolution quality. And I also just want to note that if you're the type of person that doesn't like a dash cam recording your all your conversations and stuff like that, by default, this is also set up to not have any audio, so it wouldn't be recording you while you're talking in your car. But of course, you can turn that on if you'd like to do so. But again, at least with the ones I've received from FITCAMX, the default is for the audio to not be recorded. But that's about it for this video. As always, though, I am just a guy on YouTube who likes to document what he does. So if I did something wrong, go ahead, please let me know. If you think I could have did something better with the install process, if you found something tricky to do, but then you figured it out, if you could leave a comment about that, comment section down below, that'd be great too. I like to try to use my comment section as a resource for other people that are looking, obviously, how to do the same job, so we can all just help each other out. But as always, this is Paul from Boosted Film saying thanks so much for watching. I just want to say that domestic violence is never okay. If you or someone you know is experiencing issues with a partner and doesn't feel safe, please visit the website thehotline.org or call 1-800-799-SAFE.